Hello, viewers. Okay, I've done a brief introduction to spirituality. I've done my coming out vlog video, and there was one other video I've been meaning to do for a very long time, and it gets better video. Now, I've watched countless videos, countless it gets better videos, countless. I've watched some that are very informative, some that are more informative, others that are more, can be quite blunt. For those of you who may be in a church, may have fundamentalist family members, may be afraid of being kicked out of the church community or not being accepted by friends who are Christian or otherwise, because yes, there are fundamentalist Buddhists and Hindus and pagans and anything. What I would urge you to do, especially in the more monotheistic religions, and this is something a lot of people just don't seem to get. From my personal experience, you don't need a priest to help you speak with God. You speak with God. And if your God is truly a God of love, as you believe, then don't just rely on other people telling you what they think is right for your life. If you truly believe in God, or goddess, or many gods, or divine source, or no religion at all, then you dig down deep into yourself and you find that the deep inner voice, or the fire in the head, the inspiration within you, the truth within you, to really make the right choices. If you do believe in God, and everyone around you is saying, you shouldn't do this, you should do this, you shouldn't do that, you should do this, don't listen to that. Or rather, don't take on the negativity. Don't allow the negativity to block your ability to communicate with God in the way that you feel comfortable. Often we'll be told something by church members or others that, we're not doing something right. And so we suddenly close up, okay, we just back off. We stop trying. We stop trying to communicate with God or divinity or whatever, because we feel that we're doing it wrong. Now, if you are coming out and you are Christian and you have faith in God, or you're Islamic, or you're Judaic, or you're Hindu, or you're Buddhist, or whatever, I honestly believe that the biggest mistake you can make, and if I ever refer to sin, I'm not referring to it as a death sentence. I refer to it in the way the old Greek translation is, which is to miss the mark. The quickest way you can miss the mark is to stop trying to speak with God or with divinity or with whatever you believe in. I strongly believe that God, divinity, would want you to be honest with him, with her, with it. Be straight up. Now what you need to realize, and don't just rely on what church elders say, or what religious elders say, of any denomination, of any religion. If you've got a copy of your holy book, you sit down with it yourself, and through intuition and discernment, you sit down yourself and you read through it, and then you realistically find the truth kernel, find the bits that apply to who you are. Now, people go, oh, you're picking and choosing. I would say don't treat any spiritual text as a literal text. In my experience, you get better use and you get deeper insights out of spiritual texts when you treat them as metaphors. You look at these stories and you see, well, what part of this story actually applies to who I am and where I'm going in life and what I want to do in life. Again, another thing, and I can't actually stress this enough, your path, your spirituality, is between you and God first, and then other people. So be honest with yourself, be honest with God, in whatever divinity, in whatever form you see them. Be honest with yourself, with divinity, and remember that most of what you live, your relationship with divinity, is relative to who you are as a person, as an individual. Even if you share the same common beliefs, rules and regulations as the rest of your congregation, your actual connection with divinity, with God, with Goddess, with Holy Spirit, with divine source, is still relative to how you perceive the world. Now with coming out to family, and that may be slightly fundamental, it is difficult because they will stick to what they believe is right, because you've got to remember, they're basing it on their own relative experience. And a lot of the way we view the world is based on what we've been conditioned to believe as we're growing up. And sadly, a lot of the old stigmas are still around. So you've got to be persistent. Ultimately, I would say it does get better, but not in a snap, everything's right. As you grow up, you learn to tolerate hardship a little easier. You learn from probably mistakes, most of the time in most cases. You learn from prior mistakes how to best deal with situations that rock up again that have similarities. You learn the methods in order to help you deal with issues that when you were younger you may have struggled with immensely. Yes, it does get better, but you have to be willing to affirm to yourself constantly, day in, day out, that it's your life, it's your relationship with God, or divinity, or whatever. And that is what matters first and foremost. Then, if you still feel that you want guidance from someone else, go speak to a teacher. But always remember, regardless of your spirituality is relative to your own personal experience, and your relationship to divinity, in whatever way you see it, is between you and divinity first. So if you've got parents or teachers or something saying you're doing it wrong, go and have a chat with God. Go and sit down, somewhere quiet, and have a heart-to-heart with whoever you believe is your creator, or whatever it is. And if you feel that you can't, because you feel that you're not worthy, I would say that the reason that you're here already means that you're worthy. And your God will not just leave you there won't leave you in the dark, or won't leave you alone, because darkness to me is not necessarily evil, it's just misunderstood most of the time. What you've got to realize as well is that your fear blows things out of proportion. I'm not saying that fears are not realistic, but you've got to be able to discern whether it is a realistic fear or if it's just you're hitting the panic button while being high on sugar or caffeine or Red Bull. So that's what you've got to do. And you've got to just be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Be true to your personal relationship with divinity or God. Be persistent. Be brave. Be honest with yourself. And it will eventually get better. Maybe not straight away, but it will. Blessed be.